Hey, so today's video is going to be a walkthrough on Zapier. This is an introduction to using Zapier in your business. So if you are new to workflows, new to automations, and you're looking to streamline the processes that you have in your business, then you're definitely in the right place. Zapier is a great online tool to help you connect your different apps together. And so in this video, in this walkthrough, my purpose here is to show you exactly how you can use Zapier, how it can support your business, and how you can really make the most of implementing automation and just really get creative with the whole process of building out workflows. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nicola Melinda and I help business owners like yourself get your systems streamlined, organized and automated. So we're going to dive into this video straight away and I'm pretty much just going to do a walkthrough. We are inside of my own Zapier account. This is my very own account that I use inside of my business. And this is the dashboard screen. So when you do sign on to Zapier, you will be brought to the dashboard screen. And you can see here, we've got our menu along the side. You can view any Zaps that you've made, your Zap history, and you can also explore. And then there's help as well. There's also a great button here that just says make a Zap. So you can make your very first Zap or automation. In Zapier language, a Zap is the automation. So when you hear that word or that term being used, that's exactly what it means and what it is. Now, the best thing about Zapier is that you can connect a variety of different apps and really you can make a process so unique to you. And that's why it's so amazing to use this program. First thing you'll see when you do log into your account is there is this box here that says create your own workflow. And so this is literally the first steps of building out your workflow. So if you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, you know exactly what type of result you're looking to create in Zapier from the get-go, then definitely go ahead and start using your apps, connect your apps to Zapier, and you can start building out your workflow. You'll also notice as I scroll down that there are recommended workflows for you. So these are recommended based on the apps that I have in my platform. When you do log into Zapier, there are also other apps or other workflow suggestions that will come up. And if I come across to the Explorer side on the page, this will allow you to actually look into many different types of workflows. So you can see that there are different types of workflows and they can be broken down by the role that you are working in or the purpose you're trying to serve. So CRM, for example, marketing, sales, you can really try to see what examples there are, how other people are automating their processes. And you can see that it breaks it down into actually the type of job role or position that you would be in your job. So a project manager, for example, or a personal assistant. So these are great examples of workflows that you could use within that specific job role. So if we just go back to the home screen, when you do use Zapier, your apps are the programs that you connect to your Zapier account. So for example, Google Drive, Slack, ClickUp, Asana, Dubsado, these are all known as apps within the Zapier platform, and you would need to make sure that they are connected before your Zap can go live. So let's look at building out just a basic workflow to start. We'll use the create your own workflow. Now, there are two ways to make a Zap. You can create one from this screen or you can click on make a Zap. So I'm going to start it from right here. And there are two different ways that you can do this. You can literally just click and search for the app you want to connect. So you'll notice that as I start to type, it gives me a selection of different type of platforms that are available. So also, if you do want to know if your apps or platforms are on Zapier, just simply type in the name and do it as a search and it will let you know what is available. So for example, if I want to search for ClickUp, I can just type in the name ClickUp and it will just load up. So I do already have ClickUp attached to my Zapier account, so it's already going to load and I can start a workflow straight away. And then I can decide what I want to connect ClickUp with. So in this example, I have a choice of connecting ClickUp with ClickUp, therefore creating an automation within itself. I can also connect ClickUp with an external app as well. So if I wanted to create a workflow, say within Slack, for example, I could connect my ClickUp with Slack. So now you'll see that I've connected two apps together. And essentially what happens is that it gives me new options. So I now have a trigger option and an action. So whenever you're creating workflows, these two terms are always going to come up. The trigger is the starting point, what starts the workflow. So when this happens, when this action takes place, and if I click on the drop-down list, it will give me a list of different actions that I can actually choose from. And you'll see that it actually has actions from Slack as well. But for this particular example, I'll just say when there's a new task, I can then say if this is the trigger, a new task has been created, the action needs to be one of these action points here. And so this is also a great way for you to see what is actually available in terms of being able to automate something. So in this scenario, I want to know, well, actually, what can I automate inside of ClickUp or outside of ClickUp? This is a great way for me to just test it. So initially, ensure that your apps are connected and then experiment. This is a great way to see what is possible and to really just start getting creative with your workflow process. This is definitely going to help you if you are in the process mapping stage as well. So when you are thinking about the next action, you also want to think about what is logical in the workflow process. So it's always great to start from scratch, make sure you have it mapped out in your head, just so you don't get overwhelmed with building these out. But typically you may decide to send a message. So let's just say we'll send a direct message, but you can see there are different options. Send a message to a channel, send a direct message. Direct message will do. Now I can see that there is the two apps put together. This is now the whole Zap or the whole automation that will happen. If I click on try it, it's going to bring me into a screen to actually create this automation. Now, we're building out the workflow in a brand new screen. So this is now what happens where the app Zapier is going to bring me into more detailed instructions. And so this is really where you can get granular with your instructions, granular with your workflows, and make a very seamless process in the back end. So I can select my account, okay, and I can literally click continue. And so it's going to take me through a step-by-step process in order to build this automation out. So which workspace do I want to choose? I'm going to choose my company workspace, and then I'm going to say where I want that task to lie. Now, if you're familiar with ClickUp, ClickUp is structured by spaces, folders, and then lists. So I have different spaces. So for example, I have She Talks Systems, which is my YouTube channel, Facebook group space, and then I have different folders in this area. So I'm actually going to put my task into this area, no folder. It's just going to be defined within a list. And I can choose exactly which list I want to put that into. So let's just choose the She Talks Systems management list. And now you can see it's broken it down into the tasks. Now this is great because I can actually choose a specific task. These are all template tasks, and I can choose what I want to do. So let's just choose the YouTube weekly promo post. And this is actually what is going to be created for me. So when this task is created, remember the trigger is we're creating a task. When this task is created, then a Slack message is going to occur. So I can test this trigger. Now what this is going to do is Zapier is now going to communicate with ClickUp, and it's going to say, actually, is there a link? Do the two work together? So you can see that the test trigger has actually worked. They found a task. So it's going to pull in information from my ClickUp account into this test task. There is also going to be a test task within my ClickUp. So it's actually going to be there. I'll be able to see it, and I'll just have to remove it down after this process. If the test has worked and I'm happy, I can just hit continue. And then it's going to move on to the next stage of the process. So now this is the action stage. So you can see that we've got a green tick here. It's telling us that the trigger is it actually works. That stage is complete. So now what we can do is send a direct message in Slack. So my Slack account is also attached within Zapier, and I wanted to send a direct message. So now I have the option to select where that message is going. So I've got my own company Slack account, which is here, and then I can set up the action. So in this sense, it's saying, do I want to send a multi-message? No, I don't. That's fine. And I can choose a username of who it's going to send out to. So I can just send this to myself, and then I can send the message text. Now, bearing in mind, every time this Zap works, this message is going to be sent to the channel. So I can pop a message in there to say, hey, in ClickUp. Perfect. Now, what I can also do is insert data. So what you'll see is we have some options here below. And if I say show all options, I can actually start to pull in data from the task itself. So I can actually select the task URL, and that will populate within the Slack message. So then the individual who gets that Slack message is now going to be able to just click that link and go to the task itself. They will know that they've got a new task waiting for them in ClickUp. I can also put the task name in there if I wish, and I can also put the due date. So those are the actions. That's all I'm going to put in there. I can say whether to send it as a bot or send as myself. And so that's absolutely fine. If I say no, it's going to send as myself. So Zapier also will give you instructions as you go through the list as well. So this is just really cool for you to just understand exactly how granular you can get within your automations within Zapier. So you can also include a link to the Zap. You don't necessarily have to do that. I'm just going to select no, that's not needed. Do we want to auto expand links? No, we don't. This is going to open up a preview of the link, so we don't need to do that just yet. And that's fine. Yes, we want to link the usernames and channels, so that's fine. So where I put in the message, I said, hey, this is now going to link to the individual of that channel. So now that that's done, I can also choose whether to schedule this message or just have it send straight away. We'll click continue. And then we can test this message as well. So you'll see that as we went through all of these stages, the ticks ticked off, the green tick shows through every step of the way. And then the test was also successful. So there is now a message in Slack that has been sent to me as a test. So when you've gone through all of these points, you have the option to either retest the action, you can turn on the Zap, so you can start using it straight away. So if I was to turn on the Zap, you'll notice that the options at the top will show that it's on. I'm going to be told it is actually on, and I can see it in my listings of Zaps. I can also rename the Zap itself. So at the moment, it's got a pretty clear description of what this automation is. It says send a direct message in Slack when a new task is in ClickUp. But if I want this to be super specific, I can have this down as Slack message sent when YouTube promo post is ready to prep. Okay, so you can get very specific with the names of your Zaps. And then when you're happy, just go back to the setup. You can see the workflow. And so basically in this area, now if you're on a free Zap account, you can only link one app to another. If you do have a paid account, you'll be able to continue the workflow. So you'll be able to literally build out an entire workflow process. So the next area might be to say, send a direct message in Slack. Maybe you'll send another message as a follow-up to your team member. But if I click on the X, you'll see that there are other options that will open up for me. So I can then connect other apps in this process. I can connect my Google Sheets, my Dubsado, my Gmail, lots of other apps as well. And there are also different options. So you've got path options, which allow you to build out different steps based on automation rules. You can filter out your actions, so only if certain things happen. You can change how the incoming data looks as well. And you can also pause your actions. So if you want certain actions to take place, but you want to control how quickly or how long it takes for them to happen, then you can also put delays in place and you can build out your workflows from there. So if you go back to the home screen, let's have a look at all the Zaps that you have. So you've built out your workflow, you have an idea of the Zaps that you have in place. Now, what you'll notice is that we are under the Zaps menu. Now, this area is going to show you all of the Zaps that you have either drafted or you've actually created and are live. So you can see all of my Zaps that are in place here. All of them are switched on. On the drop-down menu, I can actually have some options. So I can edit my Zap, I can rename it, I can actually share my Zap as well. And I can also organize my automation. So if I have specific automations for parts of a process, for example, client onboarding or my sales process, I can have a folder in place to organize those Zaps for me. And I can also have a look at the history of this Zap. So what that means is that I can see what Zaps have failed, what Zaps have happened successfully, how many times has it happened, that automation. So I can really keep an idea of how that's been working in the background. I can copy this Zap as well, and trash is just removing it all together. So when you do go through your listings and you see, for example, a Zap that is turned off, you do have the option to switch it on again. And if you find that your Zaps are just getting to be a little bit too much, you can also start to just clear this view. So this is just how you can see what your Zaps look like. And if you go into your Zap history, then you're able to actually see exactly what has been taken place in the background. So you can see here that there is a full history of all the Zaps and automations that have been used in my business to date. You can see how many tasks it's been used, when they were last run, how many issues were there. So all of these will show as kind of like a report. And I can also track how many Zap runs there are. So that just shows how many times it's happened. I've got a stopped error. So this is a Zap that was being tested. There was an error, so it needs to be corrected. You can see that there was success when it was corrected going forward. So there's all the successes and it gives you an idea as to how your automations are running. So this is great because you can still stay very much in control of the process if you are looking to automate things in your business. And Zapier will help you just to support you to do that. So this is just a very, very quick video just to walk you through. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please do feel free to drop a comment below. If you have any questions, please like, share and subscribe if you are enjoying this content in the channel. And I will see you guys next time for another video. Thanks so much for watching.